Hey everyone, Tom Butcher from Patchwerks here, and we've got a really exciting video for you today. We just unboxed this beautiful thing, the Minimoog Model D, the newest revision, just out 50th anniversary edition. I'm excited to play it. Let's dive in and see what's new. Alright, so we've got this new synthesizer release from Moog Music, but you might be asking, hey, haven't I seen that before? And the answer is probably yes. This synthesizer's been around since 1970 in a few different revisions. So this is the latest revision from Moog, and it's celebrating the 50th anniversary of Minimoog. So what's different? This one has a nice cherry wood finish, beautiful wood, handcrafted. The previous version that came out in 2016 had a lighter color wood. Right off, look of the instrument's going to be a little different. The other big thing for players has to do with the wheels. The original Minimoog, when you moved the pitch bend wheel, it would stay in place after you released your fingers, after you released your thumb. When I release my thumb, you'll see it spring back to place. And for players like me, that makes a big difference in the sound. So the Minimoog is actually the first synthesizer to be produced in this configuration. Before the Minimoog, all the synthesizers ever produced were modular, meaning each section of this synthesizer was its own product on its own, basically. So Dr. Moog published his first paper of the modular voltage control synthesizer in 1964. So it took until 1970 for the Moog engineers to come up with the idea of, hey, why don't we put this all together in a smaller box? And this thing you can actually carry around to gigs if you want. So what is this thing? We've talked about its history a little bit, and you've heard some of its rich sounds. Well, what you get is a monophonic synthesizer with 3 oscillators in this oscillator bank. Those oscillators are mixed together in this mixer here, and you can see the 3 volume controls for each oscillator. You also have a switch to turn on and off each oscillator in the mixer. You also get an external input, which we'll talk about in a moment, and noise, all in one voice. The biggest thing about Moog, and especially the Minimoog, is this filter. This is where the Moog ladder filter comes from. So you've got a 3 oscillator, 24 decibel, low pass synthesizer right here. This is where it all started. So one other difference with this Minimoog compared to previous ones from the 70s and 80s is that you get an extra LFO. Now with the 3 oscillators that you already have in the original Minimoog, you've got a switch right here that turns the 3rd oscillator between a regular audio rate oscillator into an LFO. This Minimoog, along with the ones from the 2016 reissue, add this second LFO right here. So that means you can actually have 2 LFOs if you like on your Minimoog. So where you mix in each of your LFOs, or both of them, is right here in the controllers. On one side you've got the original oscillator 3 LFO, and on the other side you've got the new LFO or noise. By the way, it may not be obvious, but when you pull this knob, it switches between a triangle wave LFO and a square. So 2 other features I really like on the Minimoog that you don't see a lot as far as tactile controls happen here near the wheels. You've got levers both to turn on and off glide and the decay part of the envelope. So you might be playing something with a long decay like this. But then if you want to change the way it's articulated in your song, you can just turn it off. So your glide time is up here on the far left, this knob. And then this lever on the control section will turn it on and off. That can actually help you switch between a glissando and a portamento in real time. With all you have to do is press the lever. Check it out. So this is with it off. On. One trick that people like to do with the Minimoog's external input is patch it back into itself. That gives you feedback, just right in here, just right on the Minimoog. So let's try it. So there you have it. We're just scratching the surface of this beautiful new Minimoog Model D from Moog Music. I didn't even get a chance to tell you about the beautiful feeling keyboard, the MIDI, all the other great things that you can't see that this new one has. Instead of me doing that, why don't we just listen to some sounds?